What's up? Welcome to Backend Stuff. I'm Jacob Litzo. Today we are going to learn how to pass options into Guardian to set a token type and expiration time. We are also going to refactor some of our authorization code and clean up some nasty stuff we did in the last video. So let's first check our database Docker container to make sure that's running. And mine is. If yours is not, just press the play button. And so by default, Guardian tokens are set to expire in 4 weeks, and the type of them is saved as an access token. So let's just go ahead and verify that that's what's happening currently, because we're just using the default options since we set up Guardian in the first place. So let's go ahead and just open up our terminal, and then let's cd into our project. Mine is in Documents, Development, BS, and then Real Deal API. And now if we just spin up our server with mix phx.server. All right, and now our local host is running. And let's go ahead and pull up Hopscotch. And I'm just going to sign in with one of our existing accounts. So I'm going to use client2@realdealapi.com with our password, real_password. And now if I do that, we send it, we get a token back. And now if I pull up our dashboard, if I click on this container that's running and go to terminal, we can go ahead and do psql space -U space backend_stuff. And then, so backend stuff is our username, and then real_deal API_dev is the database we created on this container for this project. So if we hit enter, now we are inside our database and we can access our table. So all capital letters, select space asterisk space from all capital. And now the name of the table, and our table is Guardian_tokens, and then semicolon. And this is going to just pull up our Guardian_tokens table, so we can grab the expiration time, which is a Unix timestamp. And I'm going to, so if we go ahead and find our expiration, which is right here, we can copy that number, and this is a Unix timestamp, and we can convert this into a readable time if we go to epicconverter.com. So I'm just going to pull that over right here. And if we paste that value in here and then convert this to a date we can read, it's going to tell you that it expires in a month. So by default, our tokens expire in 4 weeks, which is not bad. But now we're going to learn how to make this number whatever we want it to be. Let's go ahead and open up our project, Real Deal API. And if we expand the lib directory and then Real Deal API web directory, and then go into auth and our guardian.ex file, if we find our create token function, we see that we call a Guardian function called encode and sign. Okay, currently we're just passing in the account struct right here, and we're just allowing options to be default. So if we want to set options, let's just hover over our encode and sign. We see that we can pass in any, which is our account struct, and then we can also pass in claims and options. So the only thing we are worried about right now is our options, right? So let's go ahead and, so for claims, we're just, account, and then, all right, so for claims, we're just going to pass in an empty map, and that's fine because we don't care about that argument right now. And now to pass in our options, so we can set an expiration time like this. We can just do TTL : and then in a tuple, we can say 2, hour, and that would set our token to expire in 2 hours. All right, so that is an option. And then we can also do token_type, and then just pass in access as a string, and that would set our token type. But we want to set both these options. So how can we do that? Well, we can just pass both in inside of a list. So if we just create a list here around our access token like that, and then after the string access, put a comma in, and now we can just add our expiration time, and that is TTL : and then that tuple 2, hour. So there we go. Now we are officially setting our token to expire in 2 hours when an access token is created. Now that we know how to change options for our JSON web token, we don't really want to have it hard coded to always be an access type and an expiration of 2 hours, we may want to change it. For instance, when we set up a password reset endpoint, we might want that auth token to only last for 15 minutes. We also might want our system admin's token to not expire for 90 days. So let's make a nice little helper function that can return our token options for us. So underneath create token, let's do a def p and call this token underscore options, and let's have it take a type as an argument. Do, and then end to close off that function. And we're going to just do a case statement here. So case, and then we're going to do type. So we're going to be looking at the type we pass in, and then do and end. And so we're going to have 3 types for now. We're going to do an access token, a reset token, and an admin token. So first let's do access. So we're going to have these atoms. So access and then dash greater than. And now we want to return our options. So that is token underscore type colon and then a string access followed by a comma. And now our expiration time, which is TTL colon and then a tuple 2 hours comma and then the measurement. Right? So that is hour for us. And then close off that tuple and close off that list. So now when we pass in an atom access, we get our options list back for an access token. So now if we want to do reset, we're going to do the same thing. And I'm just going to copy and paste this for speed. And we're going to change the token type now to a reset type. And then we only want our token to last for 15 minutes. So we're going to do a colon minute here. And now our reset token is going to expire in 15 minutes. And then lastly, we want our admin. And let's paste that. And we'll have this called admin type. And we want this to last for 90 days. We don't want our admin to have to log in all the time, I guess. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I'm just giving you an example how you can set different time frames. And we're going to do colon day here. Those would be the option we would set in. So I'm showing you how to do hours, minutes, and day. There we go. We can now get our token options by just passing in a type. Let's replace this list up here in our create token. And let's call this function. So token options. We need a type now, and we just said we don't want to hard code it. So I don't want to just do this here, right? We don't want to just pass in access. So let's have the create token take another parameter called type. And we're going to do comma after account and throw in a type there. Now up in our authenticate function, we have right here that we use for email and password. We need to pass in our token type to create our token. So this will always return an access type token. So up here, right here, on line 30, we can hard code our atom access in. So whenever we authenticate with email and password, we want to create an access token. We do have one problem with the way we are creating a new account. So let's hop over to our accounts controller. It's in controllers here and then accounts controller. And I'll minimize that again. So we have to clean up our create account and sign in account functions to share some code. So if we scroll down to create and sign in, we're returning the same response, right? Account and our auth token. And we want to set our session, which we forgot to do in a prior video on our create account, but we'll fix that now. And so let's make a private function that calls our authenticate case statement. Basically, this authenticate right here, I'm just going to copy that. And now underneath our sign-in function, make a def p, so a private function. And let's just call this authorize underscore account. And it's going to take the construct and email hash underscore password and then do and end. And I'm just going to paste that case statement. So we're returning the same thing that our sign in function does. And then all we got to do up here is delete that mess, right? And call this function in our sign-in function. So authorize account, pass in our construct, email, and hash password. So boom, sign in is done, and we have a nice reusable function that create can now also call. I know in the video when we created this function, I said there's no need for us to check the password because the user is creating their account right here on the fly. We are going to just reuse some code, and our passwords are going to match. So we might as well get rid of, like, why are we using encode and sign here when we could control it from our Guardian file instead? So I'm going to delete this here. We're going to still create our account and our user. And then right here, we're going to delete the con and the put status and render. And we are going to just call our authorize account function that we just made, pass in our connection struct, and then we want to get our account.email, account.email, comma, and now we want to pass in our the hash password from the front end. So it actually has to come from the account parameters, not from the account we created, because the account we created, we hashed it again, so it will not match. So for our authorized account, when we authenticate, we're matching the password passed in from the front end with the hashed password on the back end. So to access that, we need to hit our account parameters and then opening and closing square brackets. And then a string, we have to just pull out the hash password. So hash underscore password, and then close off those quotations and square brackets. And now it looks a little better. We cleaned up the code. Both functions are calling our authorize account function that we created here. And we're just calling authenticate. And if there's an error, we get our unauthorized error raised, and otherwise it passes us our account and token. So that is pretty cool. All right, let's go down to our refresh function. This is pretty nasty and not easy to read. So one awesome thing about my Discord friends that hang out in backend stuff is you get called out on your shit when you do things that are gross. And that's good, right? It's kind of like a code review, and sometimes you need to be checked. So we're going to clean up this function. We want our refresh session to look as clean as our authorize account function here. So we want to do like a guardian.authenticate, but with our token, because here we have this nested case statement inside of a case statement and inside of a case clause, I should say. And we're just doing way too much here. So let's fix this. Let's make a guardian.authenticate function. So let's go back to our Guardian file. And we are going to make another authenticate function. So def authenticate, and through pattern matching, if we send one variable, it'll call our token authenticate option. If we send two, it'll call the email and password. So what we want to do is, instead of this nasty function over here in our controller, so we're calling decode and verify, resource from claims, and then our refresh, right? Those are all functions that exist in our Guardian file. So let's just call them in a row using with. So we can do with, and then we can do, all right, so our response is an OK Adam and claims, close off that tuple, and then we do less than dash, and then we do decode, and underscore verify, and we pass in our token. And then comma, so with a with statement, they'll do them in order, right? So comma, and then I'm just going to tab over so they're all in a row. Now we can do our OK Adam and then our account inside this tuple. And less than dash, and then we can call our resource from claims and pass in the claims we just got back above. All right, and then comma. And now our last one, our refresh token sends back 3 parameters. So it sends back an OK, and then the old token and claims tuple, which we don't need. So we're just going to put an underscore in front of it, and then a new token and the new claims in a tuple. So we're going to open up a tuple. We're going to say new underscore token, comma, and then underscore claims, because we don't need the claims. And then we're going to do less than dash and then call our refresh function that is guardians, and then pass in our token. So this is our old token. And then we're going to do a do and an end. So now inside this, I'm going to just move this end to line up with our width, and then tab in. And then all we have to do now is pass back the same thing that we're returning above, which is our account and token. So we're going to say, okay, comma, and then we already have our account from the resource from claims, and we just got a new token called new underscore token. So now we have 2 functions that are doing the same thing. So our refresh, our authentication off of a token is just refreshing our old token and returning the same information as up here. So let's hop back to our account controller. And I know a lot of people are going to be happy to see this nastiness be deleted. So the only thing I'm going to keep from this is this con and our render view. So cut and copy, or cut that out. And then let's delete everything here. All right. And I'm going to just rename this token because this is our current token. And now all we have to do is call that new function. And we know we get an OK atom back, and then our account, and then our token. And then close that tuple off, hit equals, and now we call our guardian.authenticate function and pass in our token that we got back from our construct up here. Much cleaner than nested case statements, right? All right, and then let's paste back in our construct where we transform. So we're going to set our session here as well, just in case. Like, it doesn't matter if our session was already set or not, but just in case it's not, we're resetting our session with our account ID. And then we're adding a status of OK, so we get a 200 back on the API server, our REST response. And then we're going to just render our JSON response with our account and token just like before. So this code is a lot cleaner and it looks a lot better. Oh, it doesn't like that. It does not like that our token variables are all the same. So let's just call the one back here new token, and then we'll pass new token in here. All right, and now we'll stop getting yelled at. And there we go. Our refresh session, it's much nicer and easier to read. So let's get our API up and running, and we'll sign in again, and then we can check to see if our expiration is now 2 hours. So let's pull up our terminal. Oh, it's already running. We'll just in case it didn't reload, it probably did. All right, now let's pull up Hopscotch and sign in again. All right, our sign in still works. That's a good sign. So all that refactoring didn't break anything. And now let's hop over to our Docker container. And if we're still logged in to our database, and we can just do an up arrow. So we want to do the select asterisk from, and then the table we're calling, which is guardian underscore tokens, semicolon. Let's hit that. And now we have 2 tokens here. And so the bottom one is our latest token. And I'm just going to grab this expiration date here. And let's go over to the Epic converter again and put that new expiration timestamp in and convert it. And now look, it is 2 hours instead of 1 month. So that's pretty cool. All right, so we learned how to set options on our Guardian JSON web token, allowing us to change expiration and type. And another big takeaway is we don't always write pretty code the first time through, and it's okay to go back and refactor things after you have it working. Stepping back and recognizing bad code is just part of the game. And having your code reviewed by peers is amazing too. Getting more than one set of eyes on things always helps. And in my case, I got yelled at by my Discord friends. So it's okay. Just fix it, guys. As always, if you need help or want to check the solutions, check out that GitHub link in the description. And if you have more questions or just want to hang out and chat, join my Discord server, Backend Stuff. That link is also in the description. If you want to learn how to build scalable, production-ready APIs, hit that subscribe button now. See you next time.